Hey, StockPulse family, welcome back to Talking Hidden Treasures. Today I've got Miles Rideout, VP of Exploration. He's been working in the mineral exploration industry for over 35 years, specifically as an exploration geophysicist with Argentina Lithium today. Thanks so much for coming today, Miles. I know it's like a big intro here, but guys, like a wealth of information we have in front of us. Welcome and thanks for being here.
Thank you very much, Patrick. It's a pleasure to chat with you.
So I want to get right into it. This whole idea of lithium, we've talked about this several times on our show for our audience, but I just want to help us and take a step back from your perspective with your wealth of information. What do you see happening right now in the lithium markets? And what do you see happening in our industry in terms of supply and demand? What are we not knowing? What do people don't know yet?
Sure. Well, what's interesting is the growth of the industry. If you look back historically, lithium was an incredibly small industry if you go back, say, 20 years. If we go back to, say, 2013, the world production of lithium was about equivalent to one of the world's large copper mines, like a porphyry copper project. Since 2013 to the present, lithium production has increased fourfold, but the value of that production has increased 40-fold. So our industry then looks like we've gone from one world-class copper mine to about 40 world-class copper mines in 10 years. And we're just ramping up. The recent legislation, and particularly in the Western economies, we're all headed towards obligatory electric vehicle sales by 2035. And so what we see are the Western manufacturers scrambling now to assure their supply lines for lithium and other battery metals. And so I think for the next 2 or 3 years, that's probably going to be the really exciting story, to see how the major Western automotive manufacturers assure their supply lines, where they choose to participate. I think for the next 2 or 3 years, investors can expect news perhaps on a weekly basis in this vein.
So the next question, I guess, for me is, as you see this production happening, where do you see prices for lithium going here?
Well, a lot of estimates show prices declining through the latter part of this decade, maybe down to $20,000 per ton or so. And I'm not certain. What I've seen in terms of the lithium requirements for these same major automotive manufacturers, it's staggering quantities of lithium that they require. So I think that the pricing estimates that we see put out by the major banks, I would view those as conservative. And I think that there's a tremendous amount of blue sky. I think that all the viable lithium projects in the current pipeline, it's likely that lion's share will get through to production. And I think that, with strong lithium prices, I think they're going to make a lot of money.
So let's transfer over to Rincon West project. You guys have your own work going on there. Give us a quick update about what's happening there and your production up there.
Sure. So up until about 6 months ago, we were still building the property package, both at Rincon and on our second lead project, Antofalla. And I'll just describe them briefly. They're both salt lakes. So the lithium in those basins are in concentrated brines. That means to take one of these projects into production, you're drilling wells and you're pumping brines, and then you're processing lithium out of those brines. Mm-hmm. What's exciting about Rincon is our neighbor to the east is Rio Tinto Mining. Rio Tinto purchased the central part of the basin last year for $825 million. And we've got the western side and the northern portion of the basin immediately adjacent to them. And I mentioned our Antofalla North project. Antofalla our Antofalla project is 3 times larger than our Rincon project. Our neighbor to the immediate south is Albemarle Corporation, who are the world's second largest lithium producer. So we haven't begun drilling yet on Antofalla, and we'll start that in the second half of this year. But on Rincon, we've been drilling for almost 12 months now. We've just wrapped up the first 9-hole exploration program. All that drilling on Rincon returned positive lithium values. What we've encountered is that we have the same grades on our western part of the basin that Rio Tinto Mining have in the central part of the basin. And that's what we set out to achieve. When we acquired the property, it was a conceptual model we had, but we said, we anticipate that we could have the same brines under our basin that Rio Tinto has under theirs. And that's what the drilling has shown. So what that looks like is in 7 of the 9 holes, we have values ranging from about 300 milligram per liter to as much as 400 milligram per liter lithium. And we have very long intersections. So the column of concentrated brines we have can be on the thin side as little as 70 meters, 70 meters. And on the broad side, the aquifer is as much as 200 meters or more in thickness. So these are extremely long intersections of concentrated brines, excellent, strong mid-grade brine values. And what we're looking for now is to work with these results and produce our maiden resource estimate. And this is only the first block of 3 blocks that we have on the basin. So in June of this year, we're moving our drill to the adjacent block immediately east of us. It's our second block. That property extends out over the salt flat. We have 5 exploration holes scheduled there to take us through to about December of this year. And then we'll move that drill rig to our northern property. And we've got approximately 8 exploration holes scheduled there, which we'll be completing in the first half of next year. So it's a busy time for us. We're drilling out a really spectacular property, and I think that our investors will be rewarded by favorable resource, and then we'll be looking at how to take this resource into production in coming years.
Thanks a lot, Miles. I appreciate your time and taking time to explain to us what's happening in the market with you guys. So Miles, Rideout again, everyone, thanks so much for your time and look forward to catching up with you guys soon.
Thank you very much, Patrick.